Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the details so you don't have to, giving you the core insights you need. Today, we're tackling something many of us wrestle with in our homes, managing all our audio and video gear. I mean, think about it. You've probably got, a couple of game consoles maybe? A streaming stick, Blu-ray player, and you want them on the living room TV, maybe another screen in the den, maybe even the bedroom. How do you make that work without, complete mess of cables? Or constantly plugging and unplugging things? It's a real headache. Well, that's where our focus lies today. We're doing a deep dive into a specific piece of tech aiming to solve this, the WolfPack 4K 60Hz 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switch. It mentions ARC, Web GUI, Atmos audio. Quite a mouthful. So our mission here is to really unpack what this thing is, what it actually does, and maybe why it could be, a game changer for your setup. And just so you know, all our info comes straight from the source, the product details from HDTV Supply. Okay, so let's start right there. An HDMI matrix switch. We know about basic switches, maybe splitters, but what is a matrix switch exactly? How's it different?
Right, that's the perfect place to start. Because it really is a big step up from those simpler devices. Think of it less like a simple junction box and more like an intelligent air traffic controller. But for your HDMI signals, it takes multiple HDMI inputs, your sources like consoles, players, whatever, and lets you route them to multiple HDMI output. So different TVs, projectors, and the 4x4 part. That's key. It literally means 4 inputs, 4 outputs. But here's the critical difference, the real power of a matrix. Each output can choose its own input source independently.
Independently. So it's not like a splitter sending the same thing everywhere.
Exactly. That's the crucial distinction. Output 1 can watch the game console. Output 2 can watch the Blu-ray. Output 3, the streaming stick, all at the same time. True independent viewing across all connected screens.
Right, I see. That makes a huge difference. So you could literally have, say, a movie playing in the living room, someone gaming in the basement, and maybe news playing on a kitchen TV, all from the same set of source devices managed by this one box.
Precisely. That's the flexibility it offers. It really decouples the source from the display.
Okay, that sounds fantastic, that multi-room independence. But what about the quality? The name says 4K 60 Hz. Does sending signals all over the place mean you lose picture quality? Is there a compromise?
That's a very fair question. And the answer, based on these specs, should be a definitive no. No compromise. When it says 4K 60 Hz, it's specifically talking about supporting resolutions up to 4K 2K at 60 frames per second. And importantly, it mentions YUV 4.4.4 color sampling at 8-bit.
YUV 4.4.4. What does that mean for me watching, say, a movie?
So YUV 4.4.4 means it's sending the full color information for every single pixel. No chroma subsampling, which is a type of compression you find in, say, 4.2.0. For video, the difference might be subtle sometimes, but for things like PC text or detailed graphics, 4.4.4 keeps everything super sharp, no fuzzy edges around text.
Okay, sharp images. What else?
Well, it also boasts 48-bit depth color support. Now that helps create much smoother gradients, think sunsets, skies. You get less of that visible banding effect. And crucially, it supports 18 gigabits per second bandwidth. That's the full HDMI 2.0 speed needed for uncompressed 4K at 60 Hz with all these features. Plus, it's HDCP 2.2 compliant.
HDCP 2.2, that's the copy protection thing, right?
Yeah.
Essential for modern 4K content.
Absolutely essential. Without HDCP 2.2 support across your entire chain source, switch, display, you'll often run into problems, like just a black screen or the resolution getting knocked down. So having that built in ensures compatibility with, 4K Blu-rays, streaming services, all the protected stuff.
Okay, so it sounds like the visual side is really solid. You're getting the full, uncompromised 4K picture quality delivered wherever you send it. Sharp, smooth, vibrant.
That's the goal, yes. Maintaining that fidelity across the distribution.
Right. Now, picture's only half the story, isn't it? What about sound? The name mentions ARC and Atmos audio. How does this handle the audio side of things? Does it keep up with the visuals?
It does. Audio is definitely not an afterthought here. The specs say it passes through high-definition audio formats across all 4 outputs. Specifically, it mentions LPCM 7.1.
That's uncompressed surround sound.
Correct. Uncompressed multi-channel audio. And it also handles bitstream and HD bitstream formats. So that covers things like your standard Dolby Digital and DTS, but also the higher res formats like Dolby True HD and DTS HD Master Audio, which you find on Blu-rays. Essentially, it lets the raw audio signal pass through untouched for your receiver or soundbar to decode.
Okay, so it's not messing with the audio signal. What about ARC, audio return channel?
Right, ARCA. That's a really handy feature for simplifying cables. It lets audio from your TV, say, from this built-in Netflix app, travel backwards through the same HDMI cable that's bringing video to the TV. That audio goes back to the matrix switch and potentially onto your main audio receiver or soundbar without needing a separate optical cable or something.
Okay. Fewer cables is always good. And the Atmos audio part in the name, does it decode Atmos itself?
Good question. Based on the description focusing on pass-through, it seems the switch ensures the Atmos signal, which is typically carried within a true HD or Dolby Digital Plus bitstream, can pass through it to your Atmos-capable receiver or soundbar. The switch itself isn't doing the decoding. It's making sure that complex signal gets to the device that can decode it.
Gotcha. So it facilitates the Atmos experience by not getting in the way, essentially, which means you get that high-end audio, the immersive sound, to match the great picture quality.
Exactly. It ensures the whole AV package gets delivered properly.
Now, with 4 sources, 4 destinations, independent routing, this sounds like it could get complicated to actually manage. How easy is it to, tell source A to go to TV 2 and source B to TV 1? Is it user-friendly?
Yeah, control is definitely important for something this flexible, and they seem to have covered quite a few bases here. For simple direct control, there's an included IR remote. Just point and click to switch sources for a given output.
Okay, standard remote. That's easy enough.
Yep. But then you've got more advanced options, too. It has RS-232 and Telnet control. Those are more for, integrated systems, custom home automation, that kind of thing. Programming it to work with Crestron or Control4, maybe.
Right, for the high-end installs.
Yeah.
What about for regular users?
For most people, I think the web GUI interface is probably the most powerful and convenient feature listed. GUI meaning graphical user interface. You access it through a web browser on your network. And a really nice touch here is that it supports storing and recalling up to 4 routing presets.
Presets, like movie mode or something.
Exactly. You could set up a movie night preset that sends the Blu-ray to the main theater screen and the good sound system, or maybe a party mode that sends background music or the big game to all screens simultaneously. Then you just recall that preset with one click in a web interface.
Ah, that sounds genuinely useful. Makes complex changes simple.
It really does. And beyond that, you still have physical front panel buttons for direct switching if you're right there at the unit. Plus, LEDs on the front show you exactly what's connected where, which source is going to which output. Takes out the guesswork.
Any other usability features?
They mention fast switching, which is designed to minimize that blank screen time or delay when you change sources. That's always appreciated. And there's an Ethernet port, obviously needed for the web GUI and Telnet. Oh, and it's noted as TAA compliant.
TA compliant, what's that about?
It stands for the Trade Agreements Act. It basically means the product is manufactured in the U.S. or a designated country. It's mainly relevant for government or some commercial purchases, ensuring a certain level of supply chain integrity. Probably not a major factor for most home users, but good to know it's there.
Okay, so quite a range of control options then. Remote, web interface with presets, physical buttons. It sounds like they've really thought about making it manageable, despite the power.
Yeah, it seems designed to be flexible in how you control it, catering to different levels of technical comfort.
All right, so let's pull this all together. What's the bottom line here? We have this WolfPack 4x4 Matrix Switch. It delivers high-quality 4K 60 Hz video, passes through advanced audio like Atmos signals, offers independent routing from 4 sources to 4 displays, and provides multiple ways to control it all, including that neat web GUI with presets.
That sums it up pretty well. At its core, it's about flexibility and centralizing control over a potentially complex multi-source, multi-display setup without sacrificing quality. It really puts you in command of where your content goes. It's about empowering you, the user, to move beyond just simple switching or splitting.
Empowering the user, I like that.
Yeah, it lets everyone in the house watch or listen to what they want, where they want, without interfering with each other, all from that central pool of devices.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with. We live in this time where, we've got screens everywhere, content coming from all directions. How might having one central intelligent device like this that can seamlessly direct any source to any screen fundamentally change how you think about using your media? Could it open up new ways for your family to share experiences or enjoy things independently in ways you haven't even considered before?
That's a great question to ponder. It definitely moves beyond just solving the cable mess problem. It makes you think about possibilities. If you've got multiple screens and sources, how could a central hub like this really simplify things, but also maybe enhance how you enjoy all that content? Definitely something to consider for your own setup.